Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Myra Ansari here for Wave Now. It is 1:15, and we are going live to UofL right now, where the men's basketball coach, Kenny Payne, is going to be talking about Saturday's game that's going to be happening here at home against Wake Forest University. They're getting started with the press conference. Let's jump in.
Touches. The ball is going either through the post or it's being driven to the lane, and we make a pass out, we get a good shot. That's growth. I can tell you when we first started, we never got that. And if we did get it, I know people talk about the passes that sometimes goes in the fifth row and sixth row. That was half the time. So that has drastically gotten better. Defensively, there are times when we're getting stops that you can see we're active. You can see that we're determined. You can see that we have a concept of what we're trying to do. We're fighting to keep the ball in front. We're guarding our man, and we're also helping one more. So that's growth. I go back to there were times early in the season when the rebounding was an issue. That's better. L. Ellis, the last 3 or 4 or 5 games, to go from, times where he was having 6, 7, 8 turnovers to now, he still has a little more than I would like, but there, for the most part, it's been 2 or 3. Some of it you can't draw up. He's dribbling up and the ball just, you can't even make that up. But he's getting better. He's getting better understanding that, and not that he's there yet, trusting his teammates, knowing that he can't do it by himself, playing within the team concept. There are times when Brandon has gotten better. Kamari has gotten better. So there's growth there. They are getting better. They're understanding how much they need each other. But we still got a ways to go.
Kenny, when it comes to the turnovers, I would imagine that is a massive point of emphasis for you guys, but yet at times, obviously that's still an issue. Do you think some of it is that guys are trying not to turn it over and that gets in their head and next thing you know, it leads to a turnover?
No question about it. And another way of saying it is tentative. I'm playing tentative. I can't make this mistake. I see the guy in the middle. I see him. I'm looking at him. I'm staring at him. Basically, you just telegraphed your pass. And it's a turnover. Or I don't want to make a mistake. I make a mistake. So they are trying hard. They just got to let that go and play off their instincts and trust the way we practice.
In regards to the improvement and getting better, Mike, the last 3 games has been more assertive. I think in the first 12, he didn't shoot it more than 5 times, but twice, and now he has in 3 straight games. Was there a concerted effort to tell him, hey, look for it more, or is that something that has maybe come for him?
Mike, when you look back on it now, for me, he's a freshman. And so there's a lot of this, and he's coming off a major surgery with his Achilles. So for him, the game is moving so fast. He never really got a chance to feel it last year. So now he's feeling it coming off an injury. Well, that's hard. And even now he'll text me in the middle of the night and say, Coach, I got to get my weight down. So, yeah, you probably 215, 220, you ain't going to be able to keep up. You're naturally strong. The game is a game of instincts. You see these really good teams that we're playing, the ball is moving. You can't be a step behind. You have to anticipate, be ahead of it, know it's coming, react to it. He's done a better job of that. I think he's getting more comfortable. And the only thing I ever say to Mike James is trust your heart. If you trust your heart, you'll be fine because you have a great heart. He is one of the most high character kids that we have on this team, one of the most high character people I've been around. And I love him as a player. I love where his heart is. He cares. He's playing the game to win. It bothers him when he makes mistakes. It bothers him when we lose. I need more players like that.
Kenny, do you have I don't know if you guys chart this or have a system that charts it, but do you have like numbers of passes you want? It seemed like there were more passes against Syracuse, and I just wonder if you quantify that, if you look at those numbers.
Well, we don't have numbers, but I'll say this to you. You can use zone offense as a way of how you want to play man offense. So what you see in zone is the ball movement. You can't catch it, hold it, look. The ball moves, you see a gap, you attack the gap with a pass, or you drive a gap, and then the ball moves again. That's how you want to play. Really and truly, if you want to be a good passing team, practice against the zone because it forces you to pass sometimes. And only time, even in the Syracuse game, we had problems when we caught it, we looked, we hesitated, we dribbled, then we made a pass. Whenever that ball was moving, we pretty much got the ball in the areas where we wanted to get it.
Kenny, another takeaway you mentioned from Syracuse was about being more physical. Was there some things throughout practice that you've been doing to try to continually do that? Or I guess, how have you been working on trying to just be more physical in games?
I want them to hit each other. I want them to hit each other every day in practice. I want them to hit each other, to be honest with you, at times where it becomes a fight. I want them to practice what the game is. I want them to love their teammate, but also compete against their teammate. And so what ends up happening is if the physicality of the game is 10 times harder than what we practice, how do you ever simulate those hits? So the ball is shot. Are you just going to go touch him with your hand? Or are you going to put your forearm in him and try to go through him? I need you to practice going through him. And if the guy doesn't meet that physicality, so be it. That's on him. That's the only way you can simulate what's happening when you play a Kentucky or Syracuse or any of these really good teams that we played. You have to have a physicality about it that lets that team or that opponent know you're in a fight and we're going to bring it.
Kenny, he didn't shoot it well the other night, but were you happy or pleased with what you got from Kamari in his first start, with the energy and the effort and everything that he put into it?
Kamari has gotten better. I was happy with what he did. I think there's more in there. We got to dig it out. We got to fight it out. There are times when, again, the game is moving really fast and he's trying to process it. You can't. You have to anticipate what's going to happen, see it beforehand. That's why we go through walkthroughs. That's why we practice the way we practice. So we take thinking out and react to what we see, what our eyes tell us, the positioning of the floor. I'm happy with him. I want him to get a little bit better. There's more in there. The one area you talk about getting better, for Kamari, he's playing more north-south. He's trending away from dribbling right, east-west, going to the left, east-west. Now he's going downhill. He plays like that at his size, at his strength. He's going to be a force to deal with.
From the day you got this job, you talked about your brothers in the past and the history. There's a couple of big anniversaries coming up, and tomorrow one team will be honored the 40th anniversary. How cool will that be, and how important is that for you to honor these teams and have these guys back?
Glad you brought it up. And I've sent text messages to some of the former players and talked about, I need you guys to be around. I need your spirit. I need your spirit so that these kids understand exactly what this program and the teams that have been here in the past, what they are. Yeah, they were talented, but there was a will to win with these teams. And to be honest with the 83 team will be here at practice today. And I'm hoping that we get a chance for those guys to explain to these kids what it is to be a Louisville Cardinal. Because some of them, it's not their fault. It's the generation that we're in today. But they look at Louisville and say it's cool. The former players look at Louisville and say there's a pride. There's something different about this program that you need to understand. And who best to tell them other than them?
Kenny, Wake has been a little up and down, but you look at their resume. They've beaten really good teams. What have you seen from them, and what kind of got them going lately a little bit?
Great question. I don't know about the up and down. I look at games and I look at what they're doing. A very good shooting team, a team that shoots the ball instinctively, so they're not scared of anybody. They're not tentative when they're shooting. Offensively, they're very good. They're very big. They have a dynamic point guard, and they got shooters all around them. They got a really good shooter at the 4 spot. The 2 and the 3 can shoot the ball, and they got 2 7-footers that basically one's coming off the bench and they're shooting 80% from the field. Like, this is a legitimate team that it's going to be tough for us to beat them, and we got to go in there and fight for 40 minutes, not 25, not 20. It's going to have to be a 40-minute fight, and it has to be predicated on, 1, defensively playing desperate, 2, taking care of the ball, and the spacing of what we do offensively is vital.
Sorry, one more question on 83. I know a lot of teams get talked about. The championship teams obviously get talked about more. You came in after those guys. How important is that team in general to the history of this program because of what they did? You know, you win a title and then you get back to the Final Four.
Well, more importantly than that, I shouldn't say more importantly, but there's a game that's always talked about in the history of college basketball. Houston, Louisville. The Doctors of Dunks against Fly Slamma Jamma. You know, a year and a half ago, I'm doing something in the NBA, and reporters asked me about the influence of the dunk, and they talked about that game. Reporters didn't know I went to Louisville. So that just goes to show people will always remember that game, but they always remember what Louisville is, what Houston used to be. Like, so that era of basketball, and to go a step further, it wasn't just the dunks. It was the defense. It was the team spirit. It was the way they passed the ball to each other. Great passing team. Milt was a part of that team. Lancaster. I mean, that's what I'm trying to bring back here. What that spirit was, what that character was, what that will to win was. Doesn't matter that they didn't win the game. How good were they? They could have easily been another national champion.
You talked about a 40-minute game and not a 20 or 25. Are your guys getting better at understanding that for you? I mean, like for you guys, it can't even be a 38 minutes. It's like you can have that one little window and it slips away from you. Are they grasping better what their margin for error is?
Well, at this point, I can't answer that question because they can say they grasping it, but I need to see it. Words mean nothing at this point. Your actions means everything. And I'm seeing a trend that's headed in the right direction. But to really be honest with you, I need to see their actions. I know when I asked, do you really understand what it means to be in this jersey? Do you really understand what it means to be a part of Louisville basketball? Do you really understand the fight, the determination it takes to be a great team, how fragile winning is? Do you truly understand that it's not just being on social media and showing yourself working out, sweating? That's not what this is. This is a place that's built on tradition of winning championships, a pride that comes with it. You wearing that jersey, there are people that look up to you. You having obligations to not just what's coming behind you, but what is coming in front of you. It's a heavy thing to carry. And if you're not committed to it, that's a problem. That's a problem. All right.
Yes.
I have some good workouts.
So Houston game is still the highest rated college basketball game other than the championship. Still the highest rated ever. Yeah, really. Highest rated college basketball game other than a championship game.
Athlete,
Travis. Oh, yeah, that's, I mean, you know, that's a job, whether they pay him, right, whether they saw him. Evidently he has to. Oh, for sure. But I mean, I think. Yeah, I forgot my. That would be hilarious. Right. Correct. Yeah. I got a feeling you're not getting ready to check. Yes, we're really, yeah. We kind of interested. Call. First year.
He's so chill. Hey, man. I know, right?
That's it. It is wild. It will be pretty still. Yeah. It'd be hilarious. I mean, the fact that he's asking people to put it in. It came straight in.
But they didn't help. They're like, "Look, good."
Right. He's in Dallas. Yeah.
Right. They're like, "They're good."
To make sure he pointed out that
Yeah, I know, right?
I've added them to, you know what I mean? It's so.
Right, right.
Yeah. No, great. Yes. Oh. No. Yeah. Yeah. Right this way. Like we can get that.
Yeah, sometimes.
Because he's, I think he's the. Yeah, it's not gonna say no. No, he's your dad. He's your dad. You know, but he's about 10. You know, I was telling him. Yeah. I don't think they would. I don't know what the standard.
Literally, it's like a very good word.
It was hilarious, like, somebody who I didn't know. I think someone quote tweeted it's like,
It's like something.
yeah, right. No. They won, the one new, it's his guy. Yeah. But he left. He left. Oh, yeah. Nobody's.
That's what.
Of course, it worked out. I think he is set. I don't know.
Like,
I mean, like,
he's like, At least. You said George, that's not right up your town. Yeah, I see. Assuming. Yeah. Looking very. But it's trying to, so that's good. Just look like basketball. Just get back. I know. We get it. We get back to yeah. I mean, it's a great thing, but it's that's on I wouldn't very much. That's one of the things about Jordan. He never did he ever coach it all? Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I thought he went to that shop because he was always. Yeah, I could probably see that. Yeah, actually, I can see that. Yeah, that. Yeah. One thing about it, I can see it. And also, I appreciate the opportunity. I do understand.
Kamari, Kenny was just talking about some ways he feels like you guys have gotten better, some of the passing stuff, some of the rebounding. What, from your perspective, like where do you see areas that you guys have gotten better from the beginning of the year to now?
Definitely, I feel like we gotten better on the defensive end. I feel like we play like way better defense than we were at first. Like we give like just better effort and being in the right places at the right time, And I feel like now I feel like we play more confident, like not just individually, just as a team, like finding each other and know who each other are and, making the right plays for each other on both ends. So I feel like those two things are definitely the most that I see improvement in. Definitely just, playing defense and being confident in each other.
Kamari, where do you feel like, as far as individually, where have you made the most improvement from maybe not even the beginning of the year, but just from a couple weeks ago?
I feel like definitely I just got more confident in my abilities. I feel like for at the beginning of the season, like I was just kind of like being tentative and being nervous, like all the time. And I feel like now, like, I might have a spurt or I might make a mistake where I could have been more aggressive, but I feel like I definitely am way more confident just in my dribbling and my scoring. So
KP said you're going more north-south instead of east-west. Was that something that he's really kind of harped on with you?
Definitely just, like just not trying to take those extra dribbles that I don't need, just being more efficient in my decision-making, when I score. And I feel like another place I've been better at is on the defensive end, just trying to be in the right position and just playing harder and playing with better effort.
Sid, one of the challenges that KP mentioned to the guys, wanted to see you guys be more physical. I guess how much have you all wanting to take on that challenge and I guess go through those like physical battles and just going, especially down low?
Definitely, we amplified that in practice, so Coach Payne amplified that, so definitely working hard on being more physical in practice and hitting bodies first, so definitely is going into the game.
Sid, he told us the other day that if you guys need to get technicals for hitting people in the face to be physical, then you should get technicals for hitting people in the face. Has he told you that?
No, for sure. Yeah, he told the guys that, so that could bring energy, or just to bring a sense of urgency to the game. So he definitely told us that.
Sid, back to what Kamari was talking about first about the improvement. What have you seen as far as maybe the biggest growth with this team in the last couple of games with confidence?
I could probably say the offense is flowing a little bit more better. We're doing better on defensive end, rebounding the ball, and just being there for each other when the team may need it. So I feel like we're doing a better job of being there for each other on the defensive end. It's a big thing for us. It's improved.
Kamari, I guess for you guys, thoughts on Wake Forest? Have you seen anything on maybe film, watch games, just kind of early thoughts on what you've seen from them?
Definitely. They're a really good team. Definitely poised. Got a lot of older players on the team, more experienced players. They got a good point guard scorer, and they got a lot of players around them that can shoot the ball and are confident. And I think they're going to be one of the bigger teams we played, especially on the perimeter. They kind of match our size. So and they got a good big down there, good size big. They got two of them down there that are athletic. So like I said, definitely a good team, and we definitely gonna have to play hard and play smart in order to come out with a win.